I bought this PDR kit that's Paintless Dent Repair off of Amazon for 40 bucks. Let's see if it works. So the car we just bought came with this gnarly little dent, and I've also got some small dents on my truck that I want to try to pull out. So I figured it'd be easier to try to do this without having to do any painting, and I've seen videos, so let's try it. Comes with this little squeegee thing here that uses the glue tabs. That seemed pretty promising. There's the glue gun. Here's the little T-puller. All right, so first and foremost, use some rubbing alcohol. This is 99%, I think, or maybe it's 90%. Just clean the surface up pretty well with it so the glue tabs stick. Make sure you spray the end of the tab also. Get one that's sized for the job you're doing. I'm just sort of trying to figure things out right now as I'm going along, but heat the glue up, put the glue on the tab, and then immediately stick the tab to the dent and let it cool. I don't know, it doesn't tell you in the instructions how long to let it set. It just says to let it cool, but I figure the longer the better. Quick tip, if you do this on a hot day though, you're going to have zero chance of this working because that glue is just going to melt right off of there. All right, so I'm adding another tab. I'm just going to put several tabs on and try to pull it in different locations. Work on one corner and work yourself in or work yourself out. You'd have better luck at getting the whole thing out. So that's why I have them on the edge down here. There's a crease down there that I was really wanting to try to pull out. And I think I'm going to use the T-bar. Yep. And this is a pretty cool thing. I tried to make one at home and it worked, but you know, this kit came with it, so why bother? So you just put it on the end of the tab, just like this. Just kind of slide this, whoop, popped right off. Yep. Now I'm going to use the little squeegee thing. Put it on the tab, tighten it down, and then pull the trigger and see if I can pull any of that dent out. It's actually a pretty smart tool, you know. Pop, 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 pop. Nothing going on there. Let me try this, see if I can move that dent. Whoop, popped it right off. Okay, well, they give you these little plungers. They stick pretty well, but they're not doing the trick. I'm able to move the car around, but it's just not pulling that dent out for some reason. When I stuck these to my counter, I couldn't get them off, but they're popping right off of the car for some reason. Yeah. I mean, it is pretty tight, but it's not pulling that dent. I'm going to stick another tab on there. This is a bigger one. I'm going to stick it right in the center and see if I can't get this dent to move at all. In the meantime, I've got these really small dents on my truck, so I've had these tabs sitting on there drying, cooling off. Figured I'd try this. You can feel the tension. Whoop, popped right off. Yep. Then you spray the alcohol on there and you scrape the glue off. Let it sit for a few seconds, but that didn't help at all. That little dent's still there, and it's right there on the corner too, so it's going to be hard for me to get that off. All right, that tab's dried now. The glue's dried on this tab, so I'm going to try to use the little T-bar puller again here. See if I can move that dent at all. Sort of start pulling on it, you know. I'm just kind of moving. And as you can see, the dent is moving. I think one of my mistakes is I'm not pulling straight back. You see how it's kind of at an angle? Yeah, I think that's why. But you can see the dent moving. I feel like if I had better glue, I could definitely pull it out. But once I start doing this, pop, 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 I feel like I'm gradually trying to pull that dent out a little at a time. And I'm going to smack it, give a little, whoop, pops right off. Yeah. Here's another small one on the truck. Pops right off. Another one. And giving it a little bit of pressure, little at a time, and then just sort of working my way up to the big finish. I mean, you can see the whole panel moving right now, so it's, in theory, it does work. But boom, it just pops right off, man. Use a little squeegee thing, that one popped off. Look at that, look at it moving the panel. It's moving the whole panel. I mean, it just seems like it should work. Oh, pops right off. Alright, this is the bridge. I figured I'd have the best luck with this, so I was going to save it for last. And I'm not wrong. Just got this little thing, this little bolt that goes through. This comes with its own little glue tabs that you have to use with it. So I glued one of those tabs on there. Now I'm just setting the bridge over the dent in the best way. Figured, you want to do it in a way where you're not going to be pushing on the dent itself. The bridge isn't really big enough, but if you have a dent, that's only a few inches, it seems like this should work. So you just set it on there, put the bolt through the little rod there, or the little bridge, and just slowly tighten this down. I think I'm going to change the camera angle here in a second because this started to move the dent. I couldn't believe it. You can see the dent moving right now if you look closely, but I'm going to change the angle so you can really see it. Okay, here we go. Alright, look at that dent pulling out. Watch this. I mean, it really does work. I mean, it's steady pulling that dent out. You can see it moving. The problem with this is everywhere that you pull the dent out, it's only going to pull it in a certain area, and then you're going to be left with little smaller dents now around it. And where that crease is, you can see it on the bottom right of the dent down there. There's no getting that crease out with a tool like this. I'm going to have to bang that out from behind somehow. But this does work if you have a dent just in a panel somewhere on your vehicle that's not by a body line like this, I think this would actually do the trick. I mean, as long as it's this size, and theoretically, if you have a bigger dent, you could probably make one of these that would work for the bigger dent. But this glue, this was really stuck. I mean, I'm tightening this a lot, and it's not popping off yet. And using these, it got to the point at one point where I actually had to force them back off. I wish the other glue tabs were like that on the little slide hammer. I feel like I would have had better luck with that if they were. But yeah, I'm having to just force that off now. I'm like, man, what's the deal? Why didn't the other ones stick like this? I could have pulled those small dents out had they stuck like this. But boom, there it popped out. Now look at that. It really did pull most of that dent out. It's still left with some of the surface area of the dent still there. Like you can see the way the lines are moving up, and the part on the left is moving off to the left. It obviously didn't get all of it out. It's not perfect. But I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to add some more of those tabs and try to pull it from some different areas now. I added 3 tabs here because I noticed that there were 3 little dent areas. So yeah, just kind of slowly but surely tighten it down, and you will be able to watch it as it pulls the dent out. As long as the glue sticks, I feel like this tool doesn't have a choice but to work, because you really are just slowly pulling a dent out of a piece of metal if the glue sticks. That popped right off. So the smaller the tab, I noticed, the easier it was for them to just pop off. They didn't really stick very well. There wasn't enough surface area of glue sticking to the metal, I think. The dent looks like it's almost all the way gone. I actually broke one of these too. I applied so much pressure on it. The glue didn't come free. The freaking tab itself broke. The plastic actually broke. That's how well it stuck at one point. So it doesn't make sense that the other tabs don't stick as well as these. I really wish they did, because I feel like the little slide hammer and that little squeegee tool are specifically designed for the little small, like quarter-sized dents. But that's where I'm at right now. Actually, a little bit of the paint down there got chipped off, so I went in and touched that up. But as you can see, I've still got some dents left, and I had to go in and touch that paint up, which I did. So there's that. All right, so what's the verdict? So the glue gun's fine. It's just a normal glue gun. The glue sticks suck. Sometimes they stick, sometimes they don't. I don't know what's going on with that. This seems like it would work on those really small dents. You know, you just kind of squeeze it and just pull it out, but I think you're gonna need a little rod to glue inside of the center of the dent that's really a lot smaller than the dent. That's why people use those metal rods, you know what I mean? Where you basically are welding this little rod to your car and you pull the dent out. So I think this would work with that, but every time I tried to use this, it just popped right off, popped right off, popped right off. I mean, immediately popped off. The little slide hammer thing, dude, I really like this. It's made very well. So it's got this little handle thing on it and it's really cool. And the people that use these online know what they're doing and they're able to use it. I mean, you'll see them stick it to those really little, just pop dents, you know what I mean? And they'll go boom, 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 and they'll pop it off and the little rod thing pops off, but the dent pops out and then they take the hammer and they pound around it and they keep doing it until it looks good. But I just couldn't get it to do anything on any of those little dents. So I don't know. These do stick. I mean, they stick very well. Like I stuck this to my counter in the kitchen and I couldn't get it off. You are able to pull a dent out with this, but if it's one of those dents that have sort of been in for a while, what's gonna happen is you're gonna pull it out and when you let it go, it's gonna pop right back in. Pull it out, pop right back in. I have one along the side that was doing the same thing. And they give you a couple of sizes, but they do work. So if you can find a way to make that work, I recommend using them. They give you a couple more of these too. Here are all the little glue rod things. I got like four bags of them. So they're expecting that you're gonna use this a lot. And these work best with, look, the yellow rods, which these glue sticks are crap. You need to order PDR glue sticks. They're like 25 bucks. You can get them on Amazon. If I had better glue sticks, I'd probably be saying something better about this. But the bridge is the thing that works to get dents out, okay? The bridge isn't gonna work on the small ones. The little rods aren't small enough. What's gonna happen is when you're trying to pull something this big with something that's even that same size, what you're really doing is you're pulling around it. You need to be right in the center of it. So this works for pulling out dents. The problem is sometimes it would stick, sometimes it wouldn't stick. Sometimes, I even broke one of these. Sometimes it stuck so well that look, I freaking broke one of the little rod things that come with it. It broke right off. So it's a pain in the butt. You have to find a spot where you're gonna do your pulling, clean it, put the glue on this, clean this, put the glue on this, glue this to your vehicle, let it cool for like 20 minutes or something. Go put this on there, tighten it down. As it gets tighter, it's pulling it out. You can see it pulling it out. You can watch it the whole time pulling it out, and then it'll pop off or it'll be stuck and you have to yank it off. But I couldn't figure out what the variable was. Why was it working sometimes and sometimes it wasn't? But I feel like this is so time consuming. I would have much rather done it the old fashioned way. At least I know how to do that and I know it would work. But if you have a dent, I mean, my dent's on a place where two panels connect and there's a freaking crease right along the bottom. So I'm never gonna make it look perfect with these tools. But if you had a dent that was about this big enough to fit inside of the center of this, if you had a dent about this big and it was just in a spot on your vehicle, this would probably work. You might have to do it several times, but it's gonna pull the dent out. I don't think it's gonna be smooth. I think it's gonna look kind of wavy because every time you pull it, you're just creating another tension point. So that's why they give you this hammer and these little tools, because then you're gonna go around and you're gonna kind of tap anywhere that got lifted and you're gonna tap it down. Now, you really gotta know what you're doing to use these. I used some, something that I made to push some little dents out along the bed of my truck, and it left little points where you could see where it was raised. And I was like, crap. So what I did was I took this and I sort of tapped all those little points down, and it looks a lot better now, but I wasn't able to pull any of the little dents out of my truck, no matter what I tried to do. They give you these little gloves too, I guess, so you don't get your grease all over everything. But yeah, so use the 99% alcohol to remove the glue. Removing the glue was probably the biggest pain in the butt of this whole thing. Having to stop, remove glue, scrape glue off, clean it, use gunk off or goop off, whatever it was. Would I recommend buying this? No, I wouldn't. I would recommend bringing it somewhere. A professional might know how to use these, but like I said, if you have a dent that's about this big, I think this might work to pull it out. It's definitely going to look a lot better. I mean, the dent on that car looks better now, but it's not finished. I'm gonna work on it a little bit more. It's just so time consuming. So, yeah. I mean, I don't like recommend. This is what I was hoping. I really wanted this thing to work, y'all. I really wanted, because if you just look at how it works, it just raises just enough. It's like not even an inch, but I was like, yeah, you could probably pull something forward, hold it for a second, and it'll just pull that dent right out. But it just wasn't. And I wanted this to work on the little bitty dents, like the real small ones, and I just couldn't get it to work. There wasn't enough surface area that had glue on it to actually stick long enough to pull anything out, because I would have needed a small one. Like, I would have needed something like this small. And that's just not enough glue. Like, as soon as you pull on that, it just, boop, it pops right off. So I'm going to probably get better glue. I'm not going to give up on this, y'all. I'm going to get some better glue. I'm going to pay the 25 bucks, get better glue. And I'm going to mess around with it one last time. I'm going to say, okay, if I buy the better glue, you know what? I'll put a link up for the glue that I found on Amazon. So if you do buy one of these kits, save yourself the trouble of using the crappy glue. They say this is for the yellow glue's for American cars. The white glue is for foreign cars, and the black glue is for all cars. I only used the yellow because I needed the toughest glue, and it's just not good enough. But I'm also worried because it was so hard to get the glue off my car. If I use better glue, it's going to be that much harder to get the glue off. So I'm going to need to, I don't know, man. I'm not a professional at this. If I were taking dents out the old-fashioned way, I could put up a video. I've actually got something on my channel where I fixed my truck and I painted my truck a little while back. But so yeah, I'm not gonna give up on it. But if you were to ask me as a novice, should you buy this kit or a kit like this and try to do this yourself? I would say it's not gonna cost you any more than 50 bucks to try. And if you have a dent like this, it'll probably work. If you have a bunch of little bitty dents, you're gonna need better glue. That's what this is for. This and the little squeeze thing are for those little ones, and you're just supposed to just kind of tap, 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 pop, and pop them out. You know what I mean? But I just couldn't get the glue to stick. So if anybody has any tricks, or if any tricks of the trade you could share with me, that'd be awesome. But if not, I don't consider it 100% failure. I'm glad I did it, and I'm not finished with it yet. But oops. But I wouldn't sell these. I wouldn't try to get commission selling these. You know what I mean? Because I just don't see using the metal rods that weld to your car, or even drilling a hole and putting like a screw in and pulling it out like that, I think that would work. But then you're left with a screw that you got to patch. So where dentless repair is concerned, there are people that can use these. Maybe the glue is the variable. Maybe I just need better glue. So maybe if I do order some more glue, I'll come back on here and see if it works better with the other glue. But in the meantime, I really can't say yay or nay whether you should buy this or not. You might have better luck with it than me. So what the heck, it's not that expensive. And if you buy the better glue, it's going to be another 25. So before bringing it to a paint shop, it might be worth it for you. But that's about all I can say for this. Thanks for watching. And remember, if you can't do it yourself, do it with Chomp. Or in this case, try to do it with Chomp.